Back to this question of LGBTQ material in elementary schools, and we're reconnecting with Kaylin Belsha at Chalkbeat. Thanks for sticking with us, Kaylin. I think we got you unbuffered here. So welcome in. Tell us about this book in question and why it's posed a problem for this second grade classroom.
Yeah, so it's actually a series of books that the Montgomery County Public Schools adopted a couple years ago in Maryland. And these books, one of them in question is called Prince and Knight. And it's a storybook about a prince who falls in love with a knight who, when they team up to fight a dragon, they fall in love. And some of the other stories, one is about a puppy that goes to a pride parade. One is about a young girl named Violet who has a same-sex crush and makes a Valentine. So all of these stories were meant for elementary schoolers, and they have LGBTQ themes and characters.
Okay, so the parents of this second grader said, we want to be able to control this. So they moved the child out to the hallway. Tell us how this eventually led to a lawsuit.
Yeah, so initially the school district, like many, were allowing opt-outs, and parents were allowed to say, I don't want my child to read this book on religious grounds. And so the family of the second grader said that they wanted to opt out of reading Prince and Knight. They had the child sit outside. But shortly after that, the district said, this is actually unworkable. We're getting too many opt-out requests, and so we're not going to allow students not to read these books in class. And so that is what led to the lawsuit. There were several different families from different faiths who said, we do think that we should have the right to opt out on religious grounds. This is a burden on our faith.
Okay, so the family did not necessarily object to the material. They wanted to be able to have a say in this. And you checked on the curriculum here in Illinois and other Democratic-led states that have protections in place. Talk about the bearing that you think this ultimately could have.
Yeah, so if there is a ruling for the parents, which many observers think that the conservative majority on the court will likely side with the parents in this case, then there would be a national right for parents to opt their kids out of certain content based on religious grounds. So that could really open the door to parents objecting for lots of different reasons around same-sex marriage or the presentation of interfaith marriage. We've heard, presentation of violence, magic, wizards. There's lots of things that religion doesn't that frowns upon. And so people are kind of worried that if schools have to abide by these opt-out requests, that it could create a big burden on schools to be able to come up with alternative lessons and supervision for kids when they opt out.
What kind of response have you seen from parents who say they do want to have more control on what goes into the classroom? For them, this seems like this should be my decision, not a school administrator's.
Exactly. And we've seen a really big push across the country over the last few years to bolster parents' rights and to give them more insight into what their kids are learning at school, more information about the curriculum, and more power to say, no, I don't think my children should be learning this. So for some parents, they think that this opt-out right is a no-brainer and that it's not actually that difficult for the school to accommodate them. The school is saying that it is difficult to do so. So I think we're about to find out whether or not this is something that will be much more common across the country.
Sounds like a needle to thread here. What is the likely ripple effect? Tell me about the timeline that the court, may rule on this.
So we're expecting to get a decision from the High Court by the end of June or in early July. And we're going to be really watching to see what that decision says about kind of what rises to the level of being instruction and curriculum. There was a lot of questions during oral arguments about what that actually constituted and whether or not the age of the children should matter. The kids in this case are mostly in elementary school. And so we're going to be watching to see whether or not this could have implications for high schoolers as well.
Have we heard from the administration what the White House maybe has said, chiming in on this?
Yeah, so actually a lawyer from the White House joined the parents and said that they fully supported their lawsuit and said that they thought that they did have the right to opt out of these books. And so we do see that the Trump administration has lined up behind the parents in this case.
All right. Kaylin Belsha at Chalkbeat. Glad we got you unbuffered. Thanks for being with us on a Friday evening. Nice to chat with you.
Nice to be on.
All right, take care.